Hello and welcome back to another edition of Check It Out. Okay friends, I've got my 2007 Honda Pilot and I am going to walk through how I'm going to change the transmission fluid. I'm going to do a drain and fill today. Right there. You can see there's... So this is a 07 Honda Pilot, about 160,000 miles on it, and I have been following the recommendation as far as a drain and fill every 30,000 miles is what this is calling for. If you don't have a Honda Pilot and you have another Honda vehicle, the procedure is going to be pretty close, but make sure you check your owner's manual for some of the details that might be a little bit different on your vehicle. So step one is going to be to safely get our vehicle up into the air. You can see I've got some nice heavy duty ramps here. I've got some chocks that I'll put behind the back tires. Of course, that vehicle is in park with the parking brake set. Friends, if you're not sure how to safely work underneath a vehicle, this is a good time to stop this video. Go educate yourself on how to work underneath the vehicle safely, and then come on back to this one and you can watch me change the transmission fluid. Also, be sure that your vehicle is on level ground. As far as materials needed, make sure if you're using a Honda, be careful, use the correct fluid. So here I've got 4 quarts of this ATF DW1. This is Honda Genuine. And Hondas apparently are very, very picky, especially on the transmissions, about being Honda fluids. And I think a lot of the other fluids on there too. Don't mess around with it. Put in the right stuff, whether that means going to the dealership, or for me, I bought this on Amazon. I bought a big case of it with 12 bottles in it. So that was the way to go for me, because the dealership isn't all that close to my house. So I'll put a link in the description on how I purchased that on Amazon as well. So you'll need a couple funnels. I've got here coveralls. Boy, these are awesome here if you're not using coveralls yet. You'll need a socket set. I've got a 3/8 set here. I needed some extra extensions, so make sure that you have either one long extension on there, at least 18 inches, and 24 inches is probably even better, or you can put something together like I have here. You'll need a 17. And again, this is a 3/8, and you'll actually need 3/8 for this one. I'll show you how the drain bolt actually needs that 3/8. So I've got some crush washers here that we'll use as well. Some gloves, always use gloves if you're not doing that yet. And again, I use these chocks right here with the heavy duty ramps down here, and these guys are awesome. Make sure if you're gonna purchase these ramps, make sure you get the right ones for your vehicle. Something to catch our fluid in right here. And of course, I'm gonna put down a little bit of protection to hopefully save my driveway in case I have any spills. So there's some cardboard under. Step one is there's a 17mm fill bolt that you'll wanna do first. Always loosen those fill bolts before you proceed on, especially this one. This guy, so you see it right there at the tip of my finger, is very, very tight. I ended up using this setup right here with this extension, and I also needed to use a cheater bar for this, so be prepared. After you've loosened up that fill bolt, then here is the drain right here. You can see me pointing to it. And this guy here, you can't miss it because it's the only one that's going to take that 3/8 inch from your ratchet. So you just stick your ratchet in here, give it a good tug, and loosen it up. Now that I've loosened that bolt, I'll get my catch pin here ready to go. And we'll take off that bolt. See how little I can get on my hands. Just sort of a joke. Oh, spilt a little bit, Holy cow. It's spilling all over the place on me. Jeez, I thought I was prepared, but there you go. Seems to go all over the place. So I have changed this every 30,000 miles, and you can see it's still pretty red. It's still in pretty good shape. I mean, relative. So that's a good sign. I'm happy to see that. And also, I don't smell any burnt transmission fluid. Seems to be doing okay. So while our transmission fluid is emptying out, I'll show you the plug right here that I pulled out of here. And this guy has a magnet on the end, and you can see all these little metal fragments that get stuck onto that magnet. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. So lots of little pieces, and you know, it looks kind of scary, right? A transmission, you don't want to see all those little shavings, but at the same time, that's what this magnet is for, is to catch that stuff. So if we're changing this out on a regular basis, we'll clean off that magnet, we'll put it back in there, and we'll be all set to go. Make sure that you've installed the crush washer. So you can see here I've cleaned off the plug. Our fluid is basically stopping to come out right here. So I'm going to reinsert this guy now. We'll get it in here nice and tight. And for this guy, for me, I'm going to give it a tug, and then I'm going to come over and really put my weight behind it and give it a good tug.
I recommend checking the torque specs on this one.
Okay, I'm back up top. I've removed the 17mm fill plug. Also, be careful, that washer will be down there. You're gonna have to reach down and grab that guy. And now, one of the challenges is that fill plug down here, whoop, there's our hole right there. I'll see if I can put my finger on it for us. And right there. Right at the fingertip there. What's challenging is that we need to get a funnel down there, but you can see all these different things are in our way right here. So I was gonna use this gray funnel right here. This is not gonna work. So I'll put a link in the description below, but you're gonna want a skinny little one like this guy here, and I will pop it down in here. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. You kind of have to twist and turn it a little bit. Oops. I can do it without breaking anything. There we go. Okay, so this guy actually fit in there pretty good. It's a little tough one-handed. But what I'm gonna do is do this, and then I'm gonna get this larger funnel here and kind of stick this, and we'll do sort of a double funnel setup. And again, I am thinking that this guy is going to take about 3.5 quarts. I'm gonna fill it up with 3 quarts, and then I will check the level and slowly bring it up to get it just where we want it. So once again, here's the transmission fluid that I'm using. The ATF DW1 is what this vehicle calls for. And it sounds like these Honda's transmissions are really, really picky. After listening to some other videos, it sounds like it's a great engine, but transmissions can be picky. So we'll put in 3 quarts here and we'll check our level. I'm gonna pour it in pretty slow since I'm kind of doing that double funnel setup, and I'm checking down here to make sure I don't have any leaks. Check the transmission fluid level on a 07 Honda Pilot. We'll open this up, and it says right here, automatic transmission. Check the fluid level with the engine at normal operating temperature. 1. Park the vehicle on level ground, start the engine, let it run until the radiator fan comes on, then shut off the engine for accurate results. Wait 60 seconds before going to steps 2, but don't wait longer than 90 seconds. Wow, pretty specific. Remove the dipstick, the yellow loop, from the transmission and wipe it to clean the cloth. Wipe it with a clean cloth. Step 3, insert the dipstick all the way into the transmission, securely shown in the illustration. So basically push it all the way back into where it goes. And remove the dipstick and check the fluid level. It should be between the upper and lower marks. If the level is below the mark, remove the fill plug and then add more fluid into the hole, bringing it to the level between the 2 levels. So obviously what we're going to go here is for this upper mark right here. All right, friends, at this time, let's get our top fill plug and put it back on there. Don't forget, it's got this washer guy right here, so don't forget that one. And I will put it back on now. So I ran the vehicle for about 5 minutes until the fan came on, the radiator fan, and now we'll pull the dipstick and check the level. So for the transmission, don't forget, that's going to be the yellow one here. The orange one over there is your oil. So I'm going to pull that out, clean it off. We'll put it back in there. Push it in firmly. Pull it out and let's see what we got. So there's our levels there, and boy, it's hard to see that new liquid. Let me see if I can grab it a little bit better in my hand and show you where it's at. The new liquid is so clean that the good news is it's clean, the bad news is it's hard to see. Actually, it looks like we're still a little bit low. So right now it's going right about to here, and we want to be at the top end. You can see where it says hot right here, making sure that the transmission fluid is hot, and also kind of a warning like be careful. At this point, I added roughly another 3/4 quart of transmission fluid. So I ran the vehicle for about 5 minutes until the radiator fan came on. I pulled out the dipstick, and you can see here after I cleaned it off, put it back in firmly, and pulled out our dipstick again. It's just about up to that hot. I know it's kind of hard to see with the new transmission fluid, but just about where my thumb is, so that should be perfect. The other thing I'll do is I'll drive this around the block. I'll double check it, make sure that it's right where we want it, and then also I'll check it for the next day or two as I drive the vehicle. All right, so I've got the plug back on. I've made it so it's hand tight, and now I'm really going to twist this guy down here and make sure it's nice and firm. That top cap is on here. Again, that's that 17, so let's get it. hand tight, and then I'm gonna give it a nice firm turn. And once again, not a bad idea to check the torque specs on that one. Now what we did there was just a drain and fill. So if you wanted to repeat that process 2 or maybe even 3 times, you could of course do that. I'll also be sure to be looking underneath the vehicle for the next day or 2, making sure that I don't see any leaks. Hey guys, I really hope this video helped you out, and if it did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.